Hi everyone, it's Brittany. Today I want to do a different type of video. I want to tell you all about my papa's house, and he still lives there today. And why is this so interesting? Well, we're pretty sure it's haunted. I can tell you the story and you can decide if you think it is or not. So it is the oldest, or one of the oldest houses in town. It has a name, and I can't remember what the name of the house is. It was made in like 1913, 1914. It's a really beautiful house. It has the lower level, which is the basement. They have the first floor, the second floor, and then they have the attic. And it like has the old like servant stairs and like old like little holes in the floor. I know that sounds weird, but it's like you do something with it with vacuuming. It has like old laundry chute and the whole shebang. It's a really beautiful house. It has a balcony on the top layer of the house. It has pillars out front. Just gorgeous, beautiful house. And what they had done is at the basement of the house, they had made it into an apartment. So it actually looks really nice. And the attic, they have it rented out to some lady who likes to make dresses, and she's really good at it. And the house is also like a business. It's like my papa's friend who does like entertainment, like making video games and computer games and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And what had happened is when I was younger, before like anything really started happening, my dad had seen like certain things in the daytime. Like he would see a black thing, but it wouldn't last very long. And we had been told that down in the basement, where now it's a closet, but at one point we had been told that it was a boiler room. And like we had been told that it was like supposedly haunted. So me and my sister, when we were younger, it would be like Halloween, and I love the holiday Halloween. Like we would be able to go over to my dad's house and we'd go all out. We'd set up for this like fake electric chair. Everyone in town would love to come to the house and go trick-or-treating, and it was really cool to be able to be a part of that and help with that. But in the back of my mind, knowing that something might be up with this house, and spending the night there with my papa and my sister was a little frightening to me, and it kind of scared me being there on Halloween. And it was like a weekend, so it was, we didn't have school the next day. And when it came to that midnight witching hour, I was always like pretty scared and everything. So, but that wasn't like too bad. I had been told that my dad, one night, and when he lived in the basement part of the house, he woke up to use the restroom, and on his way back to the bedroom from the bathroom, he saw this like thing that looked like an apparition of a boy's face. And I don't know, it's like I wasn't there when it happened, but he had told me about it. And there was this other time he had told me that me and my sister were young. We were upstairs. It was like the first level of the house, and he was living in the basement. And we were up there playing with our childhood friend on a skateboard on the wooden floor. Well, he had one of his friends. I think she was maybe a girlfriend at the time. She was in college, and her house was pretty noisy. And she would come over to his house and sleep over there because it was nice and quiet. Usually, when me and my sister and my friend wanted to be quiet. And so she went there. She was laying down. When she was laying in the bed, she was facing the wall. And so the door of the room was on the opposite side of the room. And at one point, she had felt something go along the outline of her body. Not like actually touching you, but kind of like if you were to pet an animal, it would just be the outline of your body. She felt that along the outline all the way down as she's laying there, and she thought it was my dad. And he wasn't even in the room. he was over by the staircase yelling up to me and my sister and our friend, and it was telling us to be quiet because she's trying to get some sleep. And as soon as he made his way back to the bedroom where she was at, she was already standing there. And she said, "Were you just in here?" And he told her, "No, I was telling the kids to be quiet." And she could have sworn he was in the room and that was him, and it wasn't. And after that, it was kind of, well, years later that I was a senior in high school, and I actually got the chance to be able to live with my papa. And I decided to jump at the opportunity because when am I ever going to get that chance again? And while I was living over there, by this point in time, my dad was living at the top, well, the second floor of the house, and the floor above that is the attic. And so me and my sister being in high school, it might have been probably a weekend or something like that, and we were in our bedroom. And at the time, I was dating this guy that lived in another state, and I was on the phone with him, and my sister was watching TV. And she was all into her program, and a lot of times when girls are on the phone with like their boyfriends, they get all giggly and girly and stuff like that, and I am known to do that. And so I was really giggly, and she told me, "Brittany, go somewhere else. I'm trying to watch this show." I'm like, okay, Tasman, I'll go somewhere else. So I'm still on the phone, and I decide to go downstairs. And while I'm downstairs, we have like the kitchen. We have this little room on the other side of the kitchen, and another room over here that's an office. And so I was actually I was down there on the phone, and a lot of times when I'm on the phone, I will walk around. I'll pace and walk all over the place. And so at one point, I found myself in the room next to the kitchen. And down there, there's not a lot of light. The only light that we had was like under the cabinets. It would light this like little walkway, basically, and everything. So I'm on the phone with him, talking to him, having a great time. And then I remember at one point I had heard a lot of whispering, and he's on the phone with me the entire time, like kind of witnessing this and listening to this. And I start looking around and I'm thinking, it's got to be my sister Tasman. She's probably down here trying to scare me, or maybe she wanted a snack or something like that. And I call out her name and no one answers. So I start looking around, still nothing, but I hear this whispering. And at one moment, I had turned and looked into the kitchen, and right where it had that light, I saw this black figure just zoom across the room and disappear into the dishwasher. And right as that happened, the whispering stopped. It was silenced, and it was quiet in the room. And I didn't know what to think. Like, it was just a weird sensation. Like, what did I just see? What did I just witness? And I had walked into the kitchen. I had leaned against the cabinet, and I'm still on the phone. And at that, like, right then and there, it started to get colder and colder and colder. And it eventually got to the point of where it was just too cold for me, and I didn't want to be down there in the kitchen anymore. And I had told him, I'll talk to you later. I hung up the phone, and I had went back upstairs. Now, when I made my way into the bedroom again where my sister was at, I had asked her if she had went downstairs and wanted to get a snack or something, and she told me no. She had been up there watching her television show the entire time. And that was it was the strangest feeling ever. Like, I don't know what I saw to this day, but I know that I saw something. And it was a black figure, a small black figure. and it ran into the dishwasher and it disappeared. And yeah, that was just creepy. I don't really have too many like experiences like that. That was probably the second experience that I've ever witnessed. The first one is again with my sister Tasman, but she was actually there, and this happened to both of us. So when we were younger, we loved to sing, we still do, but back then we also still loved to sing, and we would tape ourselves singing on cassette tapes. Now I know those are really old now, but back then that's what we had. So we had this like old CD player and cassette tapes, and we had like a million cassette tapes. We would tape like each and every one, like from the beginning of the tape till the end. They were just full of singing. And there was one time that we had this certain cassette tape and we hadn't used it yet. We put it in there and everything. We know how to use it, hit the record button, start singing, hit stop, and then you can go back and listen to it on the cassette tape. But when we had went back to listen to it, nothing was on the cassette tape. And we know that we had just taped, like there should be singing on there, but there wasn't. And so we thought, okay, we'll just, do it again. Maybe we did something wrong. We did it again. We hit record. We sang everything like we usually do. And then we went back to listen to it. Nothing was on it. It was completely blank. And we're starting to think, okay, this is really weird. So we do it one more time, same thing as always. We go back, and instead, there was nothing on there. But at one point, there was this voice, the deepest, darkest, raspiest, creepiest voice I'd ever heard in my life. Now, I love horror movies, and I've watched a ton of them, but I've never heard a voice like that, even in a horror movie. And it said hello, and there was nothing else on the tape. And at first we were thinking maybe it was our stepdad. Somehow he had messed with the tape, I guess, and had said that. And then we realized that's not him, that's something else. And we had wanted to destroy that cassette tape. And of course, we're children, we can't burn it or anything, but we were trying to smash it and get rid of it. And I think we ended up like throwing it away, but it was really, really scary. And actually, to this day, I can actually still remember that voice and what it sounded like. And yeah, strange. So, but anyway, let me know if you guys have any strange like paranormal like experiences, and I'd love to read them. I'd love to hear about them. I hope you like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.